And we go green for the 8 hours of Bahrain. It's 6 wide and almost a BMW in the wall. The pole man looking down the inside. Sebastian Buemi leads, Mike Conway around the outside. Do they all get through cleanly? There's always a little bit of contact and something flew off a Ferrari or a Porsche, but they have all survived. LMGT3, McLaren 1-2, but somebody's gone across the grass. And Anthony, look at this, it's just absolute mayhem.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the Van Torka, and more contact for number 6. That's critical in turn 4, off of the track. Is there damage to the right-hand side of that Porsche? I believe a bit of bodywork had already been flung up through turn 1 and turn 2 between the two of them already.
Between the two Alpines comes the Cadillac, looking down the inside. Having a good run to start the race.
Well, that is not the start that car number 6 needed for this 8-hour race today.
And the Ferrari 51 has split the Toyotas as well, jumping in at the start. 50 car a little further back ahead of the Lamborghini.
One of the Alpines off as well. That's car number 36. It's going to be a bit of a sandwich situation going on here.
And that's the number 6 Porsche squeezing between the Alpine and the Peugeot and trying to hold off 3 French cars right behind. That's a really hard start. It was always going to be a nervous 8 hours. It's going to be a very nervous 8 hours from here on in.
Yeah, the Alpine trying to recover from what happened there in turn 10 with a dive down the inside from the Peugeot number 93 and gets the job done in turn 13.
Here's the leader, Sebastian Buemi from Antonio Giovinazzi, and down the inside, Julian Andlauer takes third away from Mike Conway. Conway on the harder tyre, and then René Rast, the first of the BMWs, is in 5th ahead of Will Stevens in the Cota.
The only problem that Andlauer might have here is overtaking any car into the final corner leaves you exposed for a re-attack into turn 1. Conway thinks about it, but thinks better of it for now.
The problem now is if you have a lock-up, you're going to carry that punishment for 2 hours down the inside. The second of the Cota cars, that's the 38 car, Phil Hansen passing Miguel Molina. We're with Molina, didn't get through.
Yeah, the number 83 is watching that battle as well. Now on the inside, car 50, Molina has to defend. We wait for what happens with the car 83, who's looking to the inside there. Thinks better of it this time, and they've got to respect that gravel trap. There it is on the left-hand side. So gone are the days where they're trying to hang around the outside of that corner.
That Ferrari in 9th place, second in the championship. The number 6 Porsche not scoring at the moment, down in 15th. So they've got a lot of work to do. That's the number 5 car, Matt Campbell.
It's at this stage in the race where you're definitely going to see the softer tyre runners, or those on the medium tyre, especially if they're running them all round, will definitely have the advantage. So start off with as one of the that was number 6 again, wasn't it? Oh, so close on the brakes. I thought there was going to be another bit of contact there at turn 10.
Matt Campbell nearly ran into the back of the yellow Ferrari as well of Robert Kubica, so that was very close indeed. And Kubica currently in 11th, so neither of the Penske Porsches is in the points at the moment.
And as tempting as it is to get the overtakes done and push the tyres as hard as you can at this stage in the race, you want to be introducing them kindly, as we so often hear. And that will pay dividends later on in the race. But it looks like none of them are taking that advice. They're going for it. Hammer and tongs down towards the final corner once again between the Cota and the car 50. Molina at the wheel. The car 50 hangs on to it this time around. But look at the run that Hansen's had on the exit, and he's already side by side before turn 1.
This is a car he's going to be driving next year, the 83 car that's sitting behind them. He's getting a very close look at what the machinery is he's going to have for 2025. He's going to make that move here, Anne.
Yeah, there's that bump you talked about. You saw the plank dust get kicked up on the inside, and a nice move, and that all happened before the final corner.
And again, you can see the red sidewalls on the Ferrari, so he's on the harder of the 2 tyres, and it's not so much the consistency of the tyre, it's the temperature that they're designed to work in. But of course, part of that factor is the abrasive circuit here. Corvette on the inside, and that is Hiroshi it's 27 he's going by, so Francesca...
it's Tom Van Rompuy.
Tom Van Rompuy,
yeah,
that's right, Ian James, retaking the place.
Front of this field, though, it is still a McLaren 1-2. You can see there as Josh Gill leads James Cottingham. Francois Areo hangs on in there in 3rd ahead of Sarah Bovey. So the front of the pack, it's pretty much as you were, but in the middle of the pack, it's 3-4 cars having a battle royal here in the early stages, Martin.
Ian James in that blue Aston Martin. Francesco Francesco Castellacci in the 54 Ferrari right behind him. Let's take a look at the start further back in LMGT3.
So you see the two McLarens there already comfortably ahead of everybody else. They've given themselves a bit of a gap to the hypercars in front, and there's a BMW trying to go right around the outside of turn one, further down the field, and actually gets it through. It's the two BMWs fighting each other. Not sure there was contact, but it got oh so close in turn two.
Ahmed El-Hati and Darren Leung, the bronze-rated drivers who qualified those cars, both starting in an LMGT3. Almost universally, you start your bronze-rated drivers. Francesco Castellacci is the one silver-rated driver in there.
Well, that's the one I want to watch, and riding on board with him here in the number 55 through turn one. You got the two McLarens in front, but watch this. He's going to go off the circuit big time through turn two, all four wheels off the track. Now, what kind of run did he get there?
That's
the two McLarens are still in front, so yeah.
That's the 55.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. This is the 54. I saw this coming through turn one. Three-car battle between the 27 Aston Martin, the Corvette, and the Ferrari. It was actually Castellacci that lost out there, the silver-ranked driver. The overall running order, though, it is McLaren, Cahill, Cottingham, Francois Ario in the first of the Ferraris, the 55, Sarah Bovey in this, the bright pink Lamborghini. Then it's our championship-winning Pure Racing Porsche from Alex Malikin. Tom Van Rompuy making good progress in the TF Sports Corvette. Ian James right there in the first of the Aston Martins from Marta Racing. Then Francesco Castellacci, the only silver-ranked driver at this point. And he's just dropped back another place behind Hiroshi Kazumi in the other TF Sports Corvette.
In our two Toyotas from first and second on the grid to first and fourth. After 3 laps, it is still Sebastian Buemi, the pole sitter, the leads. The 51 Ferrari, the 99 white and green Porsche from Proton in the second Toyota. There is your championship. No, that's not your championship leading Porsche. That's the 5-car of Matt Campbell. We ride on board behind Robert Kubica. That yellow car is the one that Phil Hansen will be driving next year with Yeyife and TBN. TBN may be a Polish driver named Robert, but that has yet to be fully confirmed. Certainly not sure that Kubica is going to find a better seat than that one. That is the only Ferrari to have won outside Le Mans.
We're hearing that the car 50 and I guess you could call it the sister car, the 83 car, two different colours, but they're both Ferraris, suffering with rear tyre brake temperatures at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a hot day. I mean, we started at 2 o'clock. The sun doesn't really start to go down until 4, and then temperatures will change, but it's going to be hard work on the brakes anyway. This is a bit of a stop-start track out.
Speaking of hard on the brakes, that car number 5 just there, Matt Campbell, a bit of a lock-up into turn 1. Lost a little bit of time through there, but he's got the Ferraris in his sights who are suffering with those rear brake temperatures, as we know. Running on board with Robert Kubica through turn 4. Looks okay to me on the entry at least.
Now, with your experience of racing here, is that going to be better as the cars gradually spread out and you're less in the hot air of the car in front?
It can do. It's not a great sign though this early on in the race, although this is the hottest part of the race, having started at 2 p.m. So they will be getting into slightly cooler conditions later on, but when the car's heavy with all the fuel on board at the start of the race and you're following so closely, it can exaggerate those problems.
It's the right rear brake temperature which is high.
Yes, that reason is because I put rearward brake bias for the first lap.
Okay, so there's the explanation. He's purposely sent the rear brake bias rearward because he wanted to generate more temperature perhaps in the rear to save that off the front, but different drivers have different braking techniques and requirements from the brakes, and this is a braking circuit, lots of long straights leading into very tight corners, so he's done that on purpose for tyre warm-up reasons. You get more heat transfer from the brakes into the air inside the tyres, and it helps to heat everything up, and he didn't sound too bothered about it. He said, yeah, that's because I've sent it rearward on purpose. I'll send it more forwards as I carry on.
And you can see the yellow Ferrari down by the pit wall. Both BMWs trying to hug their way through on the inside line.
And that Alpine right to the other side of the track. It was 35. If you watch to the left-hand side of your screen, the Alpine's going to get nudged off the circuit as they try to go around the outside there. Didn't lose any time from it, but it's always a bit of a risky one.
Looked a lot more controlled in LMGT3. The better qualifier to the two Corvettes, actually, I think was the only car that made up a place. That's the 81 car.
Looking back from Sebastian Buemi, you'll watch Mike Conway really squirm around there, send the car sideways, and the Ferrari, and there's that bit of bodywork. I'm still not sure whose car that got flung up by.
It's either 50 or 6. Watch the 6 in front.
Oh no, it's from the BMW hitting the back of the Ferrari, actually. So it might have been a bit of the diffuser coming off the back of the Ferrari, and that was the, looking back in the Porsche's garage, Andre Lotterer thinking, do not damage my car.
It's all arms and elbows, Anthony.
That was the other Porsche, that was the number 5.